Hey everyone, it's Tamara Bennett with Southern Adoornments Decor. How are you today? Today we're going to be painting a really pretty sunset design, and it's got two little ice skaters on a pond. So let me show you what this looks like. Oh, and I forgot to flip the camera angle over here on TikTok. We're live on TikTok and Facebook. So this is what it looks like. The background of the sky is going to be ombre. Here's what it looks like in our mock-up that we drew. So you can see that background is going to be just gorgeous. And then we're going to do all of the, like the tree and the skaters and things like that are going to be silhouetted against the sunset sky. So I'm excited to paint this one. Hi, Carolyn. How are you guys? Are y'all having a wonderful, what is today? Tuesday? I feel like since Thanksgiving last week, my entire, I don't know, equilibrium is thrown off. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Hey, Karen. Not to mention my kids were home yesterday, which is unusual. They were supposed to be at school, but we had some storms in the area that knocked our power out, or not our power, but a lot of the people in the county, their power was out. The school was out without power, so the kids were all home yesterday. They all had a day off, kind of like a snow day, but there was no snow, so it was unusual. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Laura and Karen from Washington. I'm from Texas. Texas. Can you tell I'm not myself? I'm from Kentucky. The reason I said Texas because I saw that Diane said hi from Texas, and I think I was reading and speaking at the same time, and it came out, I'm from Texas. I am not from Texas. I'm from Kentucky. But I do love Texas. Hi, Sherry. I feel like my hair looks really crazy today. That's why I keep touching it. I'm like, what is going on with this? It looks, I don't know. I'm having a bad hair week. I just need to rewash and start over. You ever have one of those where your hair just won't do what you want it to do? Marina says you're funny. You never know what I'm going to say. Okay, so for the background of this design, it's got this nice ombre. And in order to achieve this, I feel like I probably need to put down sort of a primer coat to cover up the wood grain look on this wood. I cut this one on my Thunder laser this morning. And so all the design is laser etched on the surface. That's nice. And so all the designs that we sell in our shop, you can get like this as well. So you can just paint at home. But I'm going to paint over the wood grain because when we do our ombre, I don't want to have to do like 2 coats of the ombre just to get the wood grain covered. So I'm thinking I'm out of touch today. Sometimes I'm like that. I don't know. So I'm going to use this color, Toffee, as a primer coat. Sometimes, you may be wondering why toffee and not white. Sometimes I use white, but in this case, I don't want the background to be super bright because this is a sunset, right? So I'm going with a muted tone, this toffee color, and it's just to neutralize the color of the wood grain. So it's not really going to change the color of the background too much. It's not going to be a dramatic change, but it will cover up the wood grain. And I'm not going to have to do it over the area with the tree or the little people because that area is going to be painted black because that will be where the silhouette is. So I'm keeping a damp brush because I'm just needing to apply this really thin to cover up all this wood grain. Hi, April. Good morning. Hello. Hi, Belinda and Stephanie. How are you? Your school got canceled for a threat. Oh, no. I had heard that we had something like that at the high school here, but I guess they figured it out because they didn't end up canceling school. There was something written on a bathroom stall or something that was considered a threat. So, hello, Debbie. Welcome. This is her first time watching me. I go live to paint every Tuesday. I teach door hanger painting. So, do you know what a door hanger is? How many of you guys have never heard of a door hanger? Or does everybody know what a door hanger is? Door hanger painting is kind of my specialty. They can actually be hung up in more places than just doors. But door hangers are fun because even if you don't like love your own art, you can paint a door hanger and still be proud enough of your own art to hang it on your front door. And the fact that you're putting it on your front door, it's like you don't have to leave it up there for a long time. You know, it's a smaller commitment than putting up like a canvas on the wall in your house. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because when I paint like on canvas and then I feel like I need to hang it up on the wall in the house, it's probably going to be up there for months and months, if not years. And so that feels like a bigger commitment. And I don't love my own art enough to stare at it while I'm like sitting on the couch in my living room. But if it's on the front door, you know, I like it enough for that because I'll just see it when I'm coming and going. I won't like be sitting there staring at it. We're also self-critical of our own art. So if you have not tried door hanger painting, I definitely want to recommend it because it's a lot of fun and it's a low commitment to looking at your own art. Where do you get the paintbrush? It's so cute. So this one is from, what's it called? Murals and More by Jamie Connor. I feel like I need a cheat sheet, like cue cards. Somebody to tell me, where is the brush from? I've forgotten. It's a glitter brush. It's covered in glitter and resin. So fun. So if you're interested in those, we can give you a link and a coupon code. I get a brush every month. Corey says cooking food is your specialty. Well, I'm good at a lot of things. Cooking food's definitely one of them. I love to cook. And Corey likes to eat what I cook. Hi, Martha. It's fun and stress relieving. I agree. I find it to be very like therapeutic and stress relief. You have fun with it, Trisha? Do you sell what you paint? I get asked all the time, what do you do with all your painted projects? Because I don't sell my painted door hangers like online anywhere. I don't sell them on Etsy or in my shop. But I do sell them like at my live events. And then occasionally we will have like a silent auction or something like that. And we'll auction some of them off. Oh, you're a member of the Glitter Brush Club too? Karen, she loves them. Yeah, I just got one. Where is it at? I got this one in the mail just the other day. Look how pretty it is. It's supposed to be for New Year's. And it's kind of like silver, but it's also got like a rainbow confetti in it. Really pretty. Good morning, PC Sister Cynthia. Melissa loves this design. I posted on my stories a poll, and I asked which one you guys wanted me to paint. And it was between this one or one that said Happy Holidays. And this one had more votes, so that's why we're choosing this one. I have a feeling everybody picked this one because the other one looked easier, but this one probably is a little intimidating to some people. So I have a feeling you guys just wanted to see this one because you needed a tutorial for it. Like you needed to know how to do the ombre. So, okay, this is kind of messy, but you can see we have covered up the wood grain on the areas that's going to be the sunset in the background. This area down here is going to be white. It'll be the pond. These little people will be black and the tree will be black. So we don't have to do a base coat on those. We're going to do our ombre first because ombre can get kind of messy. When you're kind of trying to get the colors to blend, you'll accidentally get it over onto another area. So we're going to do that first. And then the black will be last. The thing is at my paint parties a lot of times, and when I used to do them, people would always start with the black. I don't know what it was. I think they wanted to add like coloring book lines to their design before they painted, and they would sit down with a little skinny paintbrush and black, and they would start outlining the entire design in black, and then they wanted to go in and add their color second. But painting it black, oh thank you, Aaliyah's showing me I missed a spot, but painting it black is going to make painting the other details much more challenging. It's better to do the black last because black covers everything. Okay, I'm also going to go in between these little tree branches too, because I forgot that's there. That's why I have this picture here. I don't know why I didn't look at it.
Well, your viewers saw it. I was just...
The viewers saw it. They were just, thank you. What about outside by the tree curve? Yep, got it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Y'all keeping an eye on me. Okay, so for our colors of the ombre, this is what I have chosen. We have True Red. And then next up from that will be Marigold, yellow. And then Sea Breeze and Victorian Blue. So these four colors will be our ombre background. So we're going to start probably at the top and work our way down. So I'm going to start with the Victorian Blue because it's going to go up here at the top. Then you can see the Sea Breeze will be right across here, the Marigold here, and then the True Red at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting each color in my egg carton. That way I can just quickly move from one color to the next, because the other trick with ombre is to make sure you work quickly. you don't want your paint to start drying in between colors, or you're not going to be able to get them to blend together like you want. Your highlight of the week is to watch you paint. Oh, thank you for that. So sweet. Okay, you're also going to want a large paint brush. So I can probably actually use the one that we were just using. So I'm just going to rinse it off. Get a little bit of that water off of it. And we're just going to go again. We're going to start with our Victorian blue. And kind of keep an eye on where the color comes down on your picture. So on my picture, this Victorian blue stops somewhere right along in here. So if you need to, just draw a little line right there. And right where that line is where we will start blending in the next color of blue. But putting that beige or that toffee color down first is going to make it to where hopefully we don't have to do a second coat on anything, because it makes it tricky when you're doing ombre to do a second coat. My wood is a little bit textured for some reason. This particular piece has a lot of texture to it, so I feel like I'm having to really get the paint in the creases of the wood. The only ombre you've ever done was the leaf challenge. Yes, that was a fun one, and that's a good one to do because you're doing the entire design. On something like this, sometimes ombre can be a little bit intimidating because it's in the background of the rest of the design. Okay, now that we've got this blue laid down, I'm going to smooth out my brush strokes. And then I'm not rinsing my brush, okay? Next, I'm just going to pick up the Sea Breeze. And then we're just going to go right on top of where we said we were going to start the transition. And start wiggling it back and forth until those colors start to blend. Try not to go up any higher. Try to just get it to blend right there. If you don't feel like it's blending well enough, pick up a little bit of the darker blue and just keep working it back and forth until you start to get it to blend. Going to get a little bit more of that darker blue, and I'm just continuing to sort of bring it in. I'm going to go up just a teeny bit, like a ½ inch, and then go down about a ½ inch.
Will you be able to see the lines through it to do the rest of it?
Yes. I can still see the lines for my words. You guys may not be able to, but I can still see them, so we're fine. Okay, now you don't want to keep bringing the blue further down. Once you've blended the blue with the lighter blue, we're going to rinse our brush, because we don't want to bring the blue down into the yellow, because then we'll have a green sky. And that usually spells out tornado. If you've got green sky, that usually means there's a tornado coming.
She's on live.
So now, after you've rinsed your brush, pick up the Sea Breeze color. And we're going to start going across the middle. And that color is really only going to continue down to right about there. So just start blending it out. My paint is a little thick today, so I'm just going to get a little bit of water and try to thin it out just a little across here. We also need to make sure, and don't forget about this little area right over here behind the trees. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to get a little bit of that blue.
Have you seen his schematic for the shop?
I'm trying to think where it would have been. I don't know.
He stuck it somewhere and can't find it.
It very well could be in that little thing right there. My husband came in the house looking for something, and I don't know where it's at. Hi, Becky.
I don't see it.
It would probably be on his desk somewhere then. Picking up a little bit more Sea Breeze because I don't have good coverage yet. Right now we still have a very harsh line between these two colors, I feel like. So we're going to start trying to blend that a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, instead of putting more paint down on the wood, I'm going to rinse this brush and just get a wet brush. No paint on it. Not dripping wet, like dab it off on a paper towel. And now with just a wet brush, I'm going to go through here and just start blending a little better. Ombre is still a bit of a challenge for me, to be honest. Like, I still struggle with it just a little. Every now and then it goes just perfectly smoothly. It's really easy to ombre something on Procreate when you're designing it, but when you're painting it, it's a little bit more of a challenge. me pick up just a little bit of that darker blue. And mine doesn't have to, I don't feel like it has to be seamless. I kind of like the look of a little bit of a streakiness because it looks a little bit more like the sky. Oops, I've got that lighter blue on my brush and I kept bringing it in up here. I don't want to do that. Put that darker blue back in. Okay, that's looking pretty good, I feel like. I'm okay with it. You're sitting here racking your brain. You cannot remember the girl who would take photos for me. Oh, Shan. She is a college student, and right now is finals week. So she's not here today. And she wasn't here last week either because she is busy at the end of her college semester. I think, is she a junior, Aaliyah?
I think so, yeah.
And so, you know, as a junior in college, she's really trying to finish out the semester, and it gets more challenging the further up you go. So I told her that it's totally fine if she can't work, you know, these last couple of weeks of December. Okay, now we're going to pick up our marigold color. This is going to go down to about, it's going to start blending right in here. So we're going to go down to about there. And this may be a little bit of a challenge to get it to blend right up here where it's not going to just turn absolutely green. So we'll see. Another trick you can do if you have a hard time getting your paint to blend is you can take the two colors and mix them together in your egg carton and put them on there. So that may be what I do on this part if I can't get it to blend right. We will see. I'll paint the marigold in up until the point where it meets the sea breeze color, and then I will start. Then I'll start mixing them together. Oops, I just dripped some water on my blue here. Pick it back up with a paper towel. Do you create your own cups? No, I don't. No, I don't paint tumblers. I don't remember. Let's see, who made this one? It's on the bottom. This one's from Creative Woods. I have had different people make them for me and send them to me. Some of them I've bought. Some of them were gifted to me. But no, I don't make my own tumblers. Okay, now we've got our marigold laid down. Let's see if we can start blending in a little bit of this blue without making it weird.
Let's do a happy mail for any
Okay.
on ice skating now.
Okay, so Aaliyah says we're going to do happy mail. Comment if you've ever been ice skating. Was that your question?
Yeah.
If you've ever been ice skating?
Isn't that what you're doing on there?
Yeah, ice skating.
Because people don't ice skate here.
Ice skating's not really a big deal around here. But we do have a little one on the court square. Is it even real ice though?
No,
Oh.
it's plastic.
And to me, I'm like, if it's not real ice, I like to feel like I'm scraping up real ice when I ice skate. I have been ice skating several times. I went in the arena where the Predators play in Nashville and ice skated there. And I ice skated in Washington, D.C. When my husband went with me one year. Let me get a little bit of water on this brush. We're going to try to blend this out with just water. I've been in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, in Ober-Gatlinburg. I do like ice skating. It's exhausting, though. Like, it will wear your ankles out in a hurry.
But there's a professional one on TikTok.
Ooh, a professional ice skater. That's cool. Okay, it's making a weird color, but I actually kind of like it in the middle. So let me just kind of show you what we got going on. It's interesting. It's kind of a yellowy green, but not in a weird way. I kind of like it. So there's our sky background. And now we need to do our red down at the bottom. So we're going to pick up the true red and start bringing it in. We need to work quickly though, because my yellow is already starting to dry. Okay, our Happy Mail winner is Lee Blossom. Lee, if you will send us your address, we'll send you some Happy Mail. Thank you for commenting. I'm trying to move quickly and keep my brush kind of damp with a little bit of water as I continue to add this red on because the yellow was drying already. I think this wood must have been really dry because it's like sucking all the moisture out of my paint. when you were a teenager, you tried and you busted your booty. Oh yeah, I don't think there's any ice skater that hasn't landed on their tush at least once. That's very common. I fall at least every single time I go ice skating. I usually can't skate for very long before I have to sit down for a few minutes. I don't know what the trick is, but my shins get to hurting. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. Okay, now that I've got that red laid down, let's see if we can blend a little bit more. Oh, and I forgot I need to bring it all the way over to here because there's a little bit of spot by this tree. Okay, I'm going to rinse the red out because the red is really dominating. And I'm just going to get a little bit of the yellow and start bringing the yellow and the red together. The red's more powerful than the yellow, so you need to get that red out of your brush as best you can so that you can start blending without adding more red.
Have you decided if you're going to use MDF or Revolution ply in the shop?
No, I haven't. That decision is probably a little ways off. We gotta get the shop done, get our lasers in there, and then figure out who our supplier would be first.
Susan Martin's birthday.
Congratulations. Happy birthday, Susan Martin. My kids asked me the other day, Mom, what if somebody's birthday was on Christmas? I'm like, well, there's lots of people who have that, honey. And they were like, well, if it was you, would you want your presents to be like wrapped in birthday paper or just wrap them in Christmas paper? I was like, I'd probably want them wrapped in birthday paper. That way you've got like two different things going on. Okay, just with a wet brush now, I'm going to kind of blend this up and out a little bit, and I'm kind of letting that red streak into the yellow a little bit in between. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I just streaked the red way too high. Let's see if I can blend it out with a wet brush. Yeah, so if that happens to you, just get a wet brush and just sweep it back and forth, and it kind of erases your mistake. Okay. It's a little bit like a rainbow right now. But I think when we add the black, it's going to like darken things a little bit. I kind of want to add just a tad bit of a darker red down at the bottom. So let me see if I've got, I may just get a little bit of, here we go. Let's try this. It's a deep burgundy. Oh, it needs to be shaken. Your cousin was born on Christmas Day. You have two very close to Christmas. You let them pick any day of the year to have their birthday. Oh, that's fun. It's a good idea. I'm going to get this deep burgundy because I feel like it needs a little bit of an anchor color, like a darker red down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to add that deep burgundy to the very, very tips of this red. Right here where it meets the pond. Okay, maybe a little bit more over here. It's hard to find a stopping point with ombre because you could just keep on keeping on blending and still not be happy with it. So we're just gonna stop and we're gonna start painting let's do our pond next. We'll do it with white, and we'll also add in a little bit of like a bluish gray. Thank you, Melissa. I'm not sure I like it yet as far as the ombre goes. I'm always a little bit hesitant to feel like my ombre looks like the way I want it to look. It's easy to get frustrated with it. Okay, and then a bluish gray color. Let's see what I've got. This one might work. It's called Colonial Blue. Let's shake it up. It's a little... I'm wanting just a little bit of a color that I can add like shading into the white to make it look like the ice has shadows on it. Do I have any quilter door hanger patterns? Yes, we do. We have, I think, 4 different designs. You can go to shopdoorhangers.com, use the search bar, and type in quilt block, I think, or quilt, and it should come up. Hey Melissa, this is your first time watching. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's see, somebody on TikTok said it's relaxing to watch you paint beautiful paintings and your accent is calming. Oh, thank you. What dryer are you using? This is the Heated Craft Tool. It's nice and quiet. It's linked in my Amazon favorites. Okay, let's get a smaller brush this time. Not too much smaller, but a little bit smaller. We're going to go with a flat tip again. I'm going to dampen the bristles. And then we're going to pick up some white, and we're just going to paint these areas where the pond is supposed to be. This is going to look like a cloud with a rainbow above it for a few minutes. Because I just started painting this on here, and I'm like, this really feels like a cloud, and then all those colors feel like a rainbow. Sometimes the sky really does look like this, though, and it's always so pretty. I love a good sunset. Your daughter was born on the 21st of December. Hey, how are ya? Chris Dixon Fuller. I feel like I know that name, but I can't figure out how I know ya. You love my shirt. Oh, thank you. This one is from Sarah, framed by Sarah. It was the in the monogram box that I got this past month. And I love it too. I love a good, like, 3/4 length sleeve shirt this time of year. Because outside I get cold, but inside I get chilly. Or, I mean, inside I get hot, outside I get cold. So it's nice to have a little bit of a sleeve. Your grandbabies is the 29th. Is there a quick way to find your Amazon list when we need to? I feel like I always have a problem finding it. I'm trying to think. There's always a link in my TikTok profile, in my Instagram bio. I don't know if there's a quick way to find it on Facebook, though. Facebook really needs, like, a link tree or something. Or maybe we should put the link tree in the links. I don't even know if that would work on Facebook, but quick way to find my Amazon favorites. You finally finished your first door hanger, Merry and Bright. Oh, good, Jennifer. Denise is watching from Canada. Well, welcome. Hello, Carol. Yeah, I have a 3/4 length sleeve from the Magnolia. It's a Magnolia t-shirt from when I got it in Waco. And I love it too. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so dry it in between coats, and then we're going to put a second coat of white. And then after our second coat of white, we'll start adding in the shading on our pond. We might even do a little bit of splatter paint at the end of this to add snow. I don't know yet. I'm kind of addicted to splatter paint these days. And paint pouring on ornaments. Have you been seeing my videos? Some of you guys may have found me through those videos. I've been paint pouring on ornaments, and it's so addicting. It's so easy to do, too. We even did it with our church kids during a little Christmas party that we did, and they loved it.
Your blog post just came out about it. I'll post the link.
Okay, yeah. Go check that out on the blog, SouthernAdoornmentsDecor.com. She's going to put the link in the description about the ornaments. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. Paint pouring ornaments.
We have a blog post about the paint pouring ornaments. On TikTok, actually on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, but mainly on TikTok, I had asked what colors I should try next on the paint pour. And so we've kind of been having fun with that because people are commenting their ideas, and then I'm making another TikTok video mixing the colors that they've asked me to try next. So I just posted one last night using colors that kind of remind me of the Grinch. So that's fun. Pam went and bought all the paint pour sets. It's so addicting. You're going to be wanting to do it on everything. Now when I go shopping, I'm like, what could I buy to paint pour on? Okay, next you're going to need the colonial blue or any kind of like bluish gray. And we're just going to get a teeny bit of this. I didn't even rinse out my brush. You can see I've got a tiny bit of it on the corner of my brush. And I'm just going to kind of add this in to the swirls of our pond while the white is still wet. And if it feels like you're getting a lot of resistance or drag when you pull your brush, just get a little bit of water on it. Not a lot, just a little. And smooth that out. Let's get a little bit more on the other corner. We're going to go the other way. When you first start putting it on, you may feel like, ah, I've messed it up, but that's okay. Just get a little bit of water and keep blending it. If you got too much water, keep a paper towel handy. Dab it off on a paper towel. Let's add a little to this corner. Going around the edge of the pond. And then we may add like a little swirl in the middle. We're also going to add some like green, or not greenery, but like the silhouette of some leaves and stuff around the edge, or bushes and, you know, weeds on the edge of the pond. Okay, let's do a little shadow kind of like right here across the middle. Get a little bit more water.
Debbie Hendricks bought the paint pour sets. She's doing it tomorrow.
Ooh. You're going to love it. It's so fun. I must be shedding hair because I keep finding hair in my paint. I don't even know if that's mine. It could be the cat's. Who knows? It was sweet. Last night I was in here painting with the Painters Clubhouse, and my husband wasn't home, and so the cat came in here and she like laid in an extra chair that I have over here. I think she just wanted to be in here with me because nobody else was here. Let me get a little bit more of the regular white and just kind of add that in. So we're just trying to make our pond look a little less perfect. Like it's got some shadows to it. If you need to, add a little bit more white back in. And I'm trying not to like have like a perfectly smooth pond. I'm just kind of swirling the colors around on there. So let me show you what it kind of looks like. Do you see how the colors kind of look blended, but not perfect? We're not going for perfect. We're never going for perfect. Have I done a paint pour with neon bright colors? Yes, we did that on rocks a few weeks ago. Charlie chose those colors, of course, and it was a lot of fun. I love neons. Okay, we've got our pond painted. So our next step would be to do all of the black, I believe. So let's see. Let's start with trying to decide what size paintbrush to use. I may use two different paintbrushes to do this. I may use a flat tip to do the large areas, and then a round tip to do some of the skinnier areas so that I can stay inside the lines. So we're just using regular black for this. I'm going to start with my little round tip brush, and I'm going to kind of outline the tree. That way I know where I'm going up to. I can still, I'm not freehanding this, by the way, for some of you who just logged on. This design is laser carved in the wood, and so I can see that through all this paint, and I'm just tracing that line. I can also kind of go through and add, you want to make sure and not paint over the areas where your sky is peeking through the branches of your trees. So I'm making sure to leave those areas in between. Probably looks kind of crazy right now, but it's going to look really cool here in a minute. Okay, and then let's go down the tree trunk here. And now that we've got that covered, let's see, I'm going to go in between these little areas with this smaller paintbrush, and then we'll get the bigger paintbrush out to do the rest. Oh, by the way, guys, if you have not done this before, if you've done this in a previous video, there's no need to do it again. But if you would like the supply list, like the paint colors that I'm using, the kinds of brush that I'm using, and links to where you can get all of this, not to mention a link to watch this video again later, you can text us. Our number is up there at the top, but you can text us the word list to that number. It's 270-207-9091. All you got to do is text the word list to that number. And every week we send you a PDF that you can print out, or you can save it to your computer or whatever, that has all of the paint colors listed on it. It has a picture of the finished product, and it has a link to where you can find this video again. So if you decide to paint this weeks down the road, or maybe even next year, You won't have to hunt for the video. You won't have to scan through the video before you go shopping to buy your paint. You could just quickly download that PDF and grab the paint colors and sit down to paint. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you when you get ready to paint it.
And this one probably be ready this weekend.
Yep, and we'll have this design ready this weekend. When it's ready, we will send you another text letting you know that you can go in and download it. Not to mention you'll have access to all of the previous lists that we've put out. So if you've never done it before, all of the older lists are on there as well. So you can go down in and download all of those. How do you decide if you use paint to outline or paint markers to outline? I never use paint markers to outline something before I paint with a brush. If I'm using paint markers, it's usually after I've painted the entire design. And it's usually kind of as a finishing touch. But I never use the paint markers to outline something before I paint it with a paintbrush. Now I'll just fill in this trunk and we can start doing our little weeds and stuff around the pond and our little kids that are painting on the pond, or painting, that are skating on the pond. So I'm going to pick my round tip brush back up and I'm just going to carefully outline the shape of these kids. They're silhouetted against the sunset. It's their little scarf blowing in the wind. I've never ice skated like on a pond or a lake or anything like that. I always find it fascinating that it gets cold enough in places that they're frozen enough that you would trust it to skate on it. We don't have cold enough winters like that here in Kentucky, so we tell our kids to stay away from the ponds and the lakes in the winter. They're not that frozen.
All right, what's your next question for TikTok Happy Meal?
Let's see. Let's do another Happy Meal, but this time we're going to pull a winner from TikTok. If you will comment and tell me what colors you want to see me use on my next paint pour ornament. Give me like at least two, but maybe 3 colors to combine together to use on my next paint pour video. I may have to switch to a different paintbrush. This one is not precise enough to do like the little blades on the bottoms of the ice skates.
All right, what do you do with the extra paint from paint pouring?
So I don't do anything with it. Oh, I just got my arm in the thing and messed this up. I don't do anything with it, but I did test something for you guys the other day. If you don't like wasting paint and it just really worries you and you want to save it, what you could do is put a little Dixie cup underneath the ornament that you're getting ready to pour. This won't work on all projects, but it would like if you were doing an ornament. So put it underneath to catch the paint. But that's only going to work if the colors you're mixing together look good mixed. For example, I did one the other day that had white, silver, and red. And when the silver started to blend with the red and mix together, it did not make a pretty color to pour again with next because it made like a muddy red. It was like a grayish red. It was not pretty. So that only really works if you have a color, 2 colors that are going to look really good blended together. You know, like 2 shades of green would look great to paint pour with a 3rd time. Somebody says plum. Somebody else says, what are you doing up here? Here's my cat, y'all. Look at this. Are you starved for attention? Are you starved for attention? See, this is how we get her to leave me alone. You just sit here and you give her way too much affection and you treat her like Elmira. I love you. And then she decides she don't want to be here anymore. And she'll go away. Be overly affectionate with her because she likes it when I'm just slightly affectionate. Okay, our next Happy Mail winner from TikTok is Miss Valerie Mitchell. Valerie, email us your address and we'll send you something in the mail. Thank you for being here and commenting. Now I'm just taking my flat tip brush that was bigger and I'm just filling in the middle of this little girl here. or boy. It could be a boy. I don't know. Might be kind of fun to paint this and then put your kids' names, if you only had 2 kids, on the little people, on their bodies. I feel like I got cat hair on my face now. Hi, Monica. She is the fluffiest cat. And she's very affectionate. Like, she wants me to, like, rub her behind the ears and sit. She likes for me to sit and pet her right above her nose. But it's got to be her idea. She doesn't want me to just walk over, snatch her up, and sit down and start petting her. She's got to come over and get in my lap first. Because she's also got a very playful side. And if she's not in the mood, she's not in the mood. My kids love to get out a laser pointer and run it along the ground and have her chase the laser pointer. Aw, thank you for saying that, Autumn. I appreciate it. Yes, you could totally personalize this. You'd have pet hair mixed in your painting. Well, my painting was pretty much dry. There's not much on it that's wet. So thankfully, she didn't step in a wet spot or we might have had a disaster. I love painting these silhouettes. It's kind of fun. That might be a fun idea too, is to paint like a really pretty ombre background and then just paint a silhouette of your kid's face. I remember in elementary school, we did those as presents for our parents. The teachers took us out in the hallway with a projector screen and they traced our silhouette and we like cut it out of cardstock or construction paper or something and made them for our parents. And my mom kept that for years and years. It's a great gift idea. Make a pretty ornament too, actually. If you did it real small. You could even take a photo probably of your kid from a silhouette perspective and print it out smaller so that you could trace it onto an ornament. I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas. You never know. Last night I was thinking it would be a fun idea to like cut out a gingerbread house on the laser, either out of cardboard or wood, and then take the spackle and do like a fake icing to make like a permanent gingerbread house. Has anybody ever done that? Your mom still has those of you, Samantha? Okay, so maybe every elementary school in America did it as a kid, like back in the 90s. I don't know. I think I was in like kindergarten or first grade when they did it. So it would have been like 1990, 1991, sometime around in there. You have silhouettes of your kids when they were in grade school. They're now in their 40s. Aw, those are so special. They did them in the 70s too. That's interesting. Is that Mom?
Yeah.
You remember the silhouettes that they did of us in elementary school and they gave us to the parents? We were talking about it because I'm painting silhouettes on this.
Yes.
My mom just showed up. Apparently everybody else they did that in school too, and their parents still have them. I said, "Oh, that's so special."
Aww.
I wish we need to tell our kids. I wish like my kids' teachers would do that of my kids for me now.
Hallie's did it in preschool last year.
Did they?
Yeah.
They splatter painted. Actually.
Oh,
Now
splatter paint.
That updates it. Kind of cool.
But I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool to do like a ornament about this size with your child's silhouette on it? And
It used to be very popular. Very popular.
Yeah.
I even, my mother had a bracelet that had all 6 kids with
Aw.
the silhouette on them.
That's special.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back, people. Okay, I took a teeny tiny brush and I painted the bottoms of their skates. And I am shedding hair on everything.
Melissa wants to know if you do anything special to write down all your ideas you think of.
No, I don't. I really should. Because I constantly come up with ideas. There's a never-ending supply.
People.
I do have people for that. Aaliyah over there, if it's brilliant enough, Aaliyah writes it down and she's like, don't forget, we're going to do that later. She's good at reminding me of all these ideas. Okay, now I'm switching to a round tip brush that has like longer bristles because I want to be able to do like a flicking up sort of motion to do these like weeds around the pond. And I've watered down my black paint just a little bit. So I'm going to start over here at this edge, and I'm just going to kind of take and start like at the base of the pond and just do this little upward motion to create like bushes and weeds and stuff. And you can be as full of this as you want, or as like you can leave it, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to do a whole lot of weeds. If you don't want weeds, don't do weeds. But I kind of feel like it just adds a little bit of visual interest, if you will, to the edge of our pond. Now this part is not laser etched on the wood, just for your information. We're freehanding this, so you get to add as much weeds as you like, or as little. See, there's a little bit right in here too.
Vicky's a first-time watcher too.
Welcome, Vicky. I'm glad you're here. I'm also going to take this round tip brush and kind of wiggle it, like squiggle it along the edge of the pond, because it kind of helps clean up the edge of where your pond meets your sky. Let me show you what this looks like. This looks so good, y'all. See those weeds? Aren't they great? Makes me feel like Bob Ross adding happy little trees. And we're having happy little weeds everywhere. Okay, now we need our words, I guess. We'll go ahead and paint those. Let's see. I'm going to get a round tip brush for this. And we're going to get some white to paint. We're doing the words in white so that they pop, because they do kind of go halfway on to our tree. And I do like to use a round tip brush for this because I can kind of make a wider stroke if I press all the bristles nice and flat. And I can make nice thin upstrokes by using less pressure. And I'm not freehanding the words. These are laser etched on here. It says Winter Wishes. It looks 3D. Oh, thanks. That's cool. You're only 14, but your second grade teacher did it? Oh, cool. I'm glad they're keeping up that tradition. My kids' teachers, I don't think they have.
Angela has a good question.
Okay, what's Angela's question?
Do you ever worry about cleaning up little specks that get on your door hangers? I always have a few little dots here and there. Is that normal?
Yes, I have them too, and no, I don't get all worried about it. I've got a little black speck right there, but I'm just going to let it go because it's already dry. And most people aren't even going to notice that. Like, the people who are that perfectionist about stuff they buy from you are most likely not the people buying handmade stuff. Those people are buying stuff that is like perfectly printed and perfect every single time. I feel like people who buy handmade items, they just know that it's just part of it. So no, don't get all worked up about that. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're going to splatter paint this with some snow here in a little bit anyway, so any little imperfections are definitely going to be hidden by that. And you're also staring at it from up close. You need to think about, like, when you step back, is that really even going to be that noticeable?
Is it the 3-foot rule?
The 3-foot rule, yeah. Stand at least 3 feet away before you start judging it. I thought I might use paint pens on this, but sometimes white paint pens, you have to go over them 2 or 3 times to get the paint thick enough to like where it's white enough. And I didn't want to have to do that, so that's why I'm painting this in with a paintbrush. If you've got the patience for it, you certainly could do this with a white paint pen.
What brush are you using for that lettering?
This is a round tip brush, probably a size 2 or 3. I could probably stand to use one just a little bit bigger because I'm having to do more brush strokes than I want to be doing, but I just didn't feel like switching brushes halfway in between.
Now, Teresa's got a good idea. She says always take a picture and see how it looks from the picture.
Oh, that's definitely good. And I think a lot of you guys think that my stuff looks just like so perfect, but it's because you're seeing it through the screen. You're not seeing it in real life up close. You don't see the little imperfections and things where I messed up just a little bit. I promise you, mine has imperfections just like yours does. I've just learned to let it go. This ombre is definitely not perfect. There's definitely lots of little things that bug me about it, but I'm just deciding to let it go because I like the overall effect. Now that I've painted the black and the white on here, I'm happy with it. Can't be so self-critical. Got any other questions? I saw somebody earlier asking about my desk, what kind of desk this was.
Oh, yeah, what kind of surface is
This is called melamine board. You can find it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards, places like that. It is very, very durable. It's almost like a countertop kind of board. And I bought it in an 8-foot by 4-foot sheet. And then we cut it down smaller. I think now it's 3-foot by 5-foot. And it's sitting, and I have a blog post about this desk also, if you want to know the steps of how to build it. But we took 3 of the 9-hole organizers, you know, the cubicle cubby thingies. We took 3 of them and made a U shape, and then we put this tabletop on top of it and screwed it down. And I love it. It's just perfect for doing these videos and having lots of room for all my supplies and everything. And the best thing about it that I love the most is that I can get paint all over this tabletop and it's not going to matter. Because later I can just go back and I can spray it down with like some Dawn Power Wash or something like that. And then I can scrub it off. And if the paint's really stubborn and won't come off, you can take a razor blade, just like you would scrape a glass top stove. You can take a razor blade and scrape the paint off of it. Now you can scratch it if you do it just hard enough, but if you're going at the right angle, you can scrape the paint right off the top of it and it'll be fine. Okay, I gotta dry this and then do a quick second coat on some of these downstroke areas on my paint. How does it, what is Eva asking? I can't read the whole question.
Eva's asking how long it takes to get the orders from the dollar sale.
Oh, well, we are shipping those out right now. So far, I think we've shipped out everything up through, if you ordered, oh shoot, I've got my elbow in the paint. If you ordered before Sunday, if you ordered on Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, or Saturday, we've shipped those. We are currently waiting on the ones from Sunday and Cyber Monday forward to be cut. Now, there were a handful, and it's totally my fault. There were a handful of orders that came in before Thanksgiving Day that somehow I did not see, and I did not get those shipped until today. So I apologize if you're one of those people and had to wait on it, but we are working on it as fast as we can. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of employees like Amazon does, so we can't get our orders out in 2 days, but we are working on it as quickly as we can. We cut every order is cut to like your custom request. So if you cut it, if you asked for, you know, an Easter bunny that's 20, I've got to rotate this. If you ask for an Easter bunny that's 20 inches, you know, we have to cut that. We don't have that just sitting around in most cases. So everything takes a little bit longer because of that. But we appreciate your patience.
All right, last Happy Mail.
Okay.
Think of a question and then talk about the laser cutter you use with that.
Okay.
What's your question?
My question is, do you use power tools like jigsaws, scroll saws, things like that? Or if not, why not? Are you afraid of power tools? Because in order to really get into door hanger painting, if you're really going to be like all in with it, you're going to eventually want to learn how to cut out your own. And so there's a few different ways to do that. I know a lot of you guys think you have to have a laser cutter to do it, but you really don't. for the first like 4 years that I had a business, I was hand cutting each of my pieces using a laser machine. I mean, not a laser, using a jigsaw, and hand cutting them using our templates. So it can be done by hand, and it's very empowering. What are people saying?
I love my power tools.
You love your power tools. That's my kind of girl right there. I've gotten even more comfortable with them in the past few years. Ryobi has just sent me a new jigsaw that has a battery pack that attaches to it. I've never used a jigsaw that didn't have a cord before. I'm in love, y'all. It's awesome. So I'm going to make a video for you guys showing it. And they also sent me a sander that's cordless also.
All right, now talk about your laser cutters and what you used.
Okay, so now that I've been doing this for a while, I have a laser machine. It's called a Thunder Laser. It's made by Thunder Laser USA. It's a Nova 24. That's what I cut this out on. If you want to see it in action, check out some of my TikTok videos and things like that, because I show how it works. But essentially, I cut out this door hanger on that, and this one's 19 inches. It's a 19-inch circle. I could have gone a little bigger, but my piece of wood wasn't that big that I had. But it's pretty easy to use. It just takes, it took me a few days to kind of get used to it, but now that I'm used to it, it's really simple.
What's the difference between that and a CNC?
Okay, so a CNC machine uses it's like a router. It's more like it has a little drill bit that spins around that goes down and cuts and carves the wood. A laser never actually touches the surface of the wood. It uses a laser beam to shoot down, and the heat cuts the wood. Does that make sense? So a CNC uses a drill bit type tool to cut and engrave. A laser uses a laser beam to do that. They're two different things. Did I cover it? Was there something else they wanted me to answer?
Here's your
Last Happy Mail winner is Samantha Barbie. Samantha Barbie. Congratulations. And before we go, because we are just about done with this, I'm going to add some splatter paint because we need snow. They're swimming on a pond. We need some snow. So I'm watering down my paint just a little bit. I'm picking the paint up with my brush and scraping it in there. And then I'm going to mix it up. Watering down our white paint, and then we're going to splatter paint. You're going to need it.
Kathy says her husband doesn't trust her with the power tools.
I don't trust my husband with my power tools. How's that? Those are my power tools. You're going to need a toothbrush and some watered down white paint. Dip it in there and then kind of scrape off or tap off the excess. And there's a couple different ways we can do this. I want this to look like big snow droplets. So what I'm going to do is hold my paintbrush. Let me make sure I'm in camera frame here. My toothbrush, and I'm just going to tap like this. And I'm hitting a little harder to make more dots fall. And I feel like I'm going to have to stand up or I'm going to get it on my shirt. So let me back up a little bit. I want a little bit more. It don't take a lot. But you want to get those big droplets off first by by tapping it off in your egg carton.
They want to know how heavy this new jigsaw is.
The new jigsaw? Oh, it's not heavy at all. I don't know what the weight on it is, but it's really not bad. I love it. Okay. I think that's probably enough snow. I don't want to go overkill with it. And I'm getting it all over my hands. Let me show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Look how pretty! All right, you guys, thank you for joining me today. Again, if you want to get the list of paint supplies and colors and the link to this video all sent to you in a nice, neat little PDF, text me the word list to the phone number 270-207-9091. Once again, 270-207-9091. It's linked up at the top of this Facebook video. If you're watching on TikTok, this video will be available on YouTube later today. You'll be able to watch the entire video over again, so no worries about that because I know they go away on TikTok, but it'll always be here on Facebook as well. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you Friday for Friday Fab 5. Bye, guys.